3 local families are planning to sue the group who runs the San Diego County Fair over that E. coli outbreak.
Fox 5 legal analyst Wendy Patrick joining us now, breaking down the details of the claim. Wendy, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, what do we know and what's happened so far with this lawsuit?
Well, this is a very preliminary stage where they filed claims, which is the first thing they have to do because they're suing a government entity.
Yeah.
But really, the two sides agree on some very important points in this lawsuit. First of all, everyone wants the fair to be safe. We do not ever want to invite children into an environment that can kill them. Hence the E. coli prevention measures. What could have been done? And those are some of the questions that are being asked. Now, we've been talking before about this lawsuit that yes, there were hand washing stations, but we want to make sure those were accessible to children. Yes, it's a known risk. E. coli is a known risk. But is it necessarily a known risk if you didn't grow up on a farm and know how easy it is for this transmission to take place? And then, of course, you have the issue of, well, maybe it is also a known risk, but should we even allow food and beverages into an area where there are animals or into an area where animals roam? Remember, you don't have to touch an animal. All you have to do is set down a belonging on a surface that an animal was in connection with, and transmission can occur that way. It is so simple. Was enough done? Those are some of the questions that are being asked.
And these are good questions, Wendy. I mean, I've been to the fair. I've been to that area. And with everything that I know, I had no idea that this would have been a risk. And I take my kids there as well. So very concerning for a lot of families watching. You have claims from the people who got sick, the families who got sick. And then we have a claim from the family where there was a two-year little boy who lost his life.
That's right.
How are these going to be different?
Well, the facts and circumstances are different, obviously, with every case, but the issues are not. The issues surround whether it was preventable, whether it was avoidable, whether enough was done. There are common issues to all the different cases. And one of the things that really makes this stand out is, of course, the fact that it's the Del Mar Fair. I mean, it's a huge, huge attraction. Now, we all grew up going to petting zoos. It was a known risk back then. Why were there so many cases stemming from this particular fair? Maybe we're just better at tracking them, but these are all the kinds of questions that we're seeking to answer. But one of the other things is, you know, we're in the preliminary stages. It's a known risk, but we're seeking change. That is hugely important. What can we do on a going forward basis to make sure this never happens again? Remember, these lawsuits are not seeking to close down the Del Mar Fair or even necessarily to close down the petting zoo. But how can we make the petting zoos safe? These are answers that are going to benefit everyone across the country that wants to continue to offer this very popular event. They're at regular zoos, they're at fairs, they're at they're at food festivals, they're at any kind of festival where you feature animals. How can we do this in a safe fashion so we never see another one of these cases?
And you say it's about change, but I remember the petting zoos used to not have the washing stations. It used to not have the disinfectant, because this is the change that we got, because this has happened before, I believe 10, 15 years ago, where people were getting sick from the petting zoos. And then every single place has the sanitizing thing. So are we looking now for more change? And how does a lawyer on the opposite side argue when there's a heartbroken family where they lost a 2-year-old and say, well, that we put the things out there and it was on their responsibility to make sure the kids, if you have little kids, it's practically impossible to stay on top of them. How do you make that argument?
Well, there are lots of ways in which you can make the argument, but you are right. It's hard to counter emotion with logic. But nonetheless, you're talking about a lawsuit, and there no doubt will be a lot of focus on what was done, how far they've come. Not only did they have all sorts of hand washing stations, but apparently they even had people there saying, hey, now you have to go wash your hands. But how do you stop a little kid from putting their hands in their mouth or touching their eyes? Exactly. And so that's the question, is as much as you can do, will it ever be enough when you're talking about kids that don't know any better?
In the lawsuit, does it say what more changes they want out of this?
Well, that'll be part of the discussion moving forward from both sides, is what more could have been done that wasn't already done. And that's the other thing, is you can always say, yeah, but did you really do enough? You could always argue that. But going forward, can you ever make a fail-safe environment to where it's virtually impossible for that type of transmission to take place?
And you can do nothing but
a tough question.
Feel for the families and for the family. I can't even forget
Yes.
about it. Wendy Patrick, we thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.